Hello and welcome to this tutorial on how to use Google Sketchup to do a simple CAD drawing. First thing you're going to do is double click on the SketchUp icon to bring open the file, and then you're going to choose a template. Now I suggest using woodwork in the millimeters. There's lots of templates. These just give you the sizes you're going to work in. So I'm going to go down to woodwork. There it is in millimeters. Okay, and then click Start using SketchUp. Okay, that brings up the file. First thing I'm going to do before actually drawing is create the file. So File, let's save as, and let's call your document, well, let's call it box. I'm going to call it Mr. Rogers box to begin with. Okay, and then we're going to save regularly in case you make any mistakes and need to go back. Right, you've got three axes here. You've got this blue axis, which is basically up and down. You've got the green one, which goes off in the distance, and you've got the red one, which sort of goes sideways. And these are your 3 dimensions. Also at the top you'll notice lots of tools, and we click and use these tools to draw objects. Okay, the first thing I'm going to get you to do is draw the sides of your box. So to do that, click on this one here, which is rectangle. Okay, if you then draw, you'll notice in the bottom corner here it says dimensions, and this is the size of the lines you've done. So if I just go along, you see it's about 2000 millimeters there, and if I go in this direction you'll notice the numbers change again. That's about 2000 that way. See? So the numbers down here tell you how big the box is you're drawing. What I want you to do is go draw a box like that, and I want you to type in 120 and then press comma and then press 9. And now that's drawn a small box, a small square I should say. If you press this thing here, this zooms to the extents of what you've drawn. Let's get rid of this for now, don't need that. If I zoom out, if you click on this magnifying glass, then you can scroll in or out, you can zoom in. Now this is the length and the thickness of your material, but it's not the height of each side. I'll quickly show you another tool here. If you click this rotate tool here, rotate here, that allows you to move the drawing around. And if you click this pan, this hand here, that allows you to go from side to side. I just literally click and then drag. Right, I'm going to move this down a bit. Now I want the height of this to be 60. Now the way to make it into a cubic shape is you use this tool here, push pull. So if I click on that, then I click on the face and I drag it upwards, see it goes up, and again you see the numbers down here changing. At the moment that's 49.3 millimeters high. What I'm going to do is type in 60 and then enter. Now if I zoom out a little bit, just zoom out, and I can rotate, and I can see that I've got the side, one side of the box. But this doesn't have any teeth, so I need to add the teeth. To do that, I'm going to click this line tool, and I'm going to draw a line that's 9 millimeters. So if I click on the end point here, and I start moving in this direction, I'm just going to press the number 9, and then enter. Okay, then I've got a point here. See that green dot? That's 9 millimeters from the end. If I click there again, and then go down, I can go all the way till it says on edge. Okay, then that distance there is also 9 millimeters. Now if you remember, our teeth were 20 millimeters wide, so I'm going to draw another line here. I'm going to click there and then go down, and I'm going to click 20, enter, and then that distance there is now 20. And I'm going to click on that green point and then again go to the edge, click there. I'm going to do the same again. Click there, go down, press 20, enter, and I've got that green point, and I'm going to move along until it's on the face. It says midpoint there. Right, now you can see how that looks like the marking out you did. Now to remove that center section, again you can use this push pull tool. So click on that, push pull, click on the face, and then you can go through to the other side. And what it does is it latches onto the other end. So it says offset limit to -9. That's what I want, so I'm just going to click there. Beautiful. Alright, and then I'm just going to click this erase tool, and I'm just going to erase those lines I don't want. Okay, now that looks like the first cut that you made, doesn't it? What we're going to do is repeat that on the other end. So I'm going to rotate it around, rotate, and I'm going to pan a little bit, pan. Now, same process. So I'm going to click on line. I'm going to draw a line that's 9, so I'm going to just type 9 and then enter. And then from that point, go down to the edge. And then another line, type 20, enter. Gives me that point, and then on edge again, same here. This is the midpoint between these two. So I know that's 20 down to the midpoint. So I'm just going to click that, and I'm going to click there again. Again, that looks like you're marking out, so we're just going to use the push-pull tool again, and again push that to the other side. There you go. Erase those two lines, and there you've got one side. Now, just before we move on, I'm going to save that. Save. There's one other thing I need to do, and that's to make it a component. That means I can copy it multiple times. So if you get your cursor tool, click on that, and I want you to double click on everything. So just double click, 1, 2. Oh no, so it's triple click. So 1, 2, 3, triple click, and that highlights everything. Alright, now I'm going to right click on your mouse, right click, and then we're going to make component. And we're going to name this sides. Once you've named sides, then just click create. There you go, there's your first side. And if I zoom out, there you go, I can copy this. Because remember, we have two sides. So I'm just going to click on my cursor again. And I'm going to click on this tool here. This is move. It's also copy. So I click move. I just grab from that point there, click, and then I press the control button, control on the bottom left of your keyboard. There you go, that allows me to copy, and I can move that. I'm just going to leave it there for now. Beautiful. Right, so you got two sides. I'm going to save that again. Now, what this allows me to do is I can actually, again, if I moved it, you could put one within the other, and that would be a bit weird, so we don't want to do that. If you move and you've made a mistake, just press escape. Escape, and it goes back to where it should be. Now with these components, if I click on an item, if I double click, I can now edit that again. So let's say I wanted to make this thicker, I could push pull. So if I click on that face and then push, look what happens. They both change because they're both the same component. So they both change. Again, I don't want to do that, so I'm actually just going to press escape, and then I'm going to click off, and I've got my two sides, and I'm ready to do the front and back of my box. Okay, give that a go, and then we'll continue. Okay, the next step is to draw the front and back of the box. Now to do that, again, you're going to click on rectangle. Well, before I do that, I'm going to move to the side slightly, put them to the side. Again, you're going to create a rectangle. So just click and then start drawing the dimensions you need. Again, this is going to be 9mm. Press comma, and this time type in 150 and then enter. So 9, 150. That's the length and thickness of your sides. Then push, pull again. We'll go up to 60. So just type in 60 and then enter. Alright, and I'm just gonna pan around here. Okay. Now it's the same process for drawing. So draw a line. Go 9mm. Enter. From that point, go down. And then we're going to do our lines which are 20, so type in 20. 20, and then draw a line there. Now this time you need to remove the two end sections, so I'm going to click push, pull, and then click on that face and then take it to the other side. Again, it says offset limited to -9mm. Good. Same at the bottom. Okay, and then you repeat that process on the other end, and you can see how it's starting to look like the pieces you cut. Double click and then press 20. So have a go at this as I'm doing the video myself, and then pause and come back to see what the next step is. Again, that's your length. What we're going to do now is make that component. So again, click on your cursor, triple click on it, the object, 1, 2, 3, and then right click. We're going to make that a component, and we're going to call this front, back, create. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this into position. So if I click move, and I click on that point there, and it should turn purple, I'm then going to move this and place it in that location. There we go. So now we've got two corners, so one corner and two pieces lined up perfectly. And now if I click on my cursor, if I click on this side, again if I press the move tool, and let's say I grab this point, I can move it there and it just slots in. Beautiful. So I've got two sides and the front. Now I need the back piece. So what I'm going to do is click on my cursor, click on this. Now I need to copy that. So again, press the move tool. Let's say that point there. I start moving it, but as I start moving it, I press Control on the keyboard. On the bottom left, press Control, and now I've got two of them. And again, I just, oh, I've gone too far. If I move around, you see I've not lined it up properly. So I'm just going to move it in a bit. So move. Let's go for that point. Let's put it there. Great. And again, like I said, if I were to change one of these components, the other would change. So if I double click on that, and then I were to push one part of it, for example this, the other one also changes. I don't want to do that, so I press escape and then just click off. Great. There you have two sides, and the front and back. So again, we'll save, and we're ready to do the bottom and the top of your box. Okay, now you're ready to do your base. We've got the two sides and the front and back. So what I'm going to do is just move this to the side, just pan over that, and I'm going to draw a rectangle for my base, and I'm going to type in 160, 130. And there's my base. Now that's the length and side. I need to increase the depth, so I'm going to push that 3. Type 3 and then enter. Right. Now this base needs to go on here, but at the moment, if I show you by moving it, if I click on, oops, sorry, what you need to do, we're going to move this. Now what you notice, as I put this in position, it's going to, oh, I've done it wrong, I need to rotate it first. Let's go back, so I press escape. Now if you do it the wrong way, because I'll show you what I mean. If I move it here, and then I look from above, you see I've put it the wrong way. So I'm just going to edit, undo, move. I need to rotate this. So I've already selected it. I'm going to click this rotate tool, and I'm going to draw a line. I need to make sure this is blue. If I click on that, and then let's try again. needs to be the blue circle. Right, click on there and then draw a line to that point. It now allows me to rotate, and I'm going to do that by 90. So type in 90, 90, enter. Now when I move this, it should line up, yeah, much better. But this base is too big, so I need a guideline to help me put it in the right position. And to make this guideline, I'm going to use this offset tool. So you're going to click here, offset, and click on the edge, and then you're going to go in and type 5. Now before we move it, I'm going to make that a group. So if you get your cursor and triple click 1, 2, 3, and then right click, I'm going to make that a group. Now if you click window and then go down to outliner, you've got all the objects you've made. So if I click on that, this goes blue, and that's the front back piece 1. Click on that, it's the front back piece 2, and I've got my 2 sides 1 and 2. Now this group is what I've just made here, so I'm going to rename that. I'll right click on it, rename. I'm going to call it base, super base. Now I've got my base, I've got my guideline inside, and now I just need to move it in position. So I'll just pan there, click move. I'm going to grab that point there and move it in so that it lines up like that. Now if I pan and rotate, you see that my base is lined up perfectly. Now if you wanted to just hide it for a second, what you could actually do is right click on base, and then you can click hide, and it just disappears temporarily. Again, I can just right click again and then unhide, and it brings it back. It's a helpful way of turning things on and off when you're drawing. Okay, let's save and move on to the top. Okay, once you've done your sides, front, back and the base, the next part is the top. So I'm just going to pan across so I can work in this area, and I'm going to draw my box top. So again, I just draw a rectangle, and the dimensions of this are 130, 160. There you go. Now I'm going to push this 9mm, because it's 9mm thick at the top. So just push, pull, and then click 9 and enter. Now I don't know if you remember, but we had nice attractive angles on the edges. So there's a way you can do that. If I zoom in, okay, and then just pan to get into position. If I click this line tool, and from this endpoint, I just go 4.5mm. Type 4.5 and then enter. I've got a small line here. If I click from there to the middle and then zoom in, you see I've made a small triangle. See that? Now I can take the edge off the top of this box. If I use this tool here, press tools and then follow me, and I just click in the middle of that little triangle, I click and then drag to each corner as I go, I can get it to come all the way back, and then watch, boom, it takes that whole edge off for me. And this looks very much like the boxes we were making, doesn't it? I also need a guideline underneath, so if I go underneath and then click this offset tool again, and then I just, on this face, I click on the edge and then I type 5, enter. That gives me a guideline. Now before I go any further, I'm going to group this. So I forget my cursor and then triple click 1, 2, 3, and then right click. I'm going to make that a group. It's just appeared here, so I'm going to rename that. Right click and then rename, and we'll call it top, enter. Right, if I zoom out, I'm underneath the box. Now what I need to do is move this in position over here. So again, if I click on it, and then I use this move tool, what I need to do is move that point, click on it, I need to drag it all the way up here. It's going to be quite tricky to do. I can't find that corner. So what I'm going to do first is just go up. And I go up all the way to there. And then pan. Let's try again. So if I move, so it's that point I need to identify. So click, and move it over here to that corner, and then click again. Now if I pan it, I can rotate, and I can see the box top is fitting perfectly. Look at that, very nice. Right, I'm going to save that, and just before we go, I'll show you one of the advantages with making these fronts and sides and everything. If I wanted to turn the top off for a minute, if I right click on top here and click hide, it disappears. I might want to do the same with the base, right click and then hide. That doesn't mean I've deleted it, because what I can do is just right click and unhide, and then they come back. There you go. Right, have a go at that. Now the last step is to add a bit of colour. To do that, we can use a paint tool. If I click on this object here, paint, I can choose a colour. Now our box is wooden, so if you click on any one of these wooden paint options, there's lots of different ones. You could, for example, geometric tiles, you could add that as a paint, but if we just stick with what was it? Wood. And if I click that, if I click on a face of an object, it can change it. So I might have that as my top and my base. So I click on it and then click on the paint object I want. There we go. And I might also want to change the sides to be different. So I click on the front and back. I'm going to make that sort of greeny colour. And then the sides, let's have this sandy colour. Oh, I need to do all of them, don't I? Click on that. And then I can rotate around. And, oh, made a mistake there. If I want this sandy colour, don't I? And then click on my mouse, this one here, have the greeny colour. Alright, and then I can zoom out, rotate, and I can see the effect of having it different colours. Very nice. Okay, save that, and you've completed your first box. Congratulations.